it's our time to shine, or whatever it is, DeKalb's time. Continue to shine mightily with a bright star that's coming on board with us. You're listening to Let's Talk About It with the Turners, and we are so excited to bring to you our new CEO-elect, the Honorable Miss Lorraine Cochran Johnson. If you could see her, because we can see her, it's a perfect example of what she's going to be doing. She's in the car now, always moving. She's never sitting still. So she's going somewhere, coming from somewhere. She's always doing something. So thank you, Madam CEO, for coming to share your time with us. We appreciate you so much. And again, congratulations and Happy New Year to you.
No, thank you. Thank you. You know, you and Vickie are two of my favorite people. I know your heart. I know your work. And I'm just excited. I'm ready to talk about it.
Well, before you get started, let me tell the people, in case we have some listeners who are not familiar with you, I want to sing your praises. And I want you to know, I celebrating my retirement recently from the Board of Education. That song just came to me. I didn't know about the song, and it's Kelly Price's "It's My Time." And I felt impressed to share that song with you because it's your time.
Yes.
And when you get a moment, I want you to listen to that song. It's a powerful song that talks about your presence. It's your moment on the earth for such a time as this.
Yes.
Lorraine Cochran Johnson was born. And I want to celebrate you. So I want our listeners to hear a little bit about you. You're an educated woman. I love that. You went to the Harvard Kennedy School of Executive Education, got a certificate there. You dealt with efficiency, equity, and quality during your studies. You went to John Marshall Law School, and you went studying criminal law, civil law, and legal writing. You went to Auburn University. You have a master's in public administration, economic development, and grant writing is a part of your studies. And you went to Troy State. That's one of my alma mater. You went to Troy State University. You have a master's in the administration of criminal justice, and you also have a political science and criminal justice background. So you have paid the price academically for sure. You have a I was thinking about you when I was reading about you, Madam Lorraine. I saw it's a broad stroke, like a canvas was in front of you. A broad stroke has been painted about who you are. It's not just one color. It's many. You're a multifaceted woman. And one thing I discovered about you when I met you is that you were a woman that had intentionality. You knew what you wanted, and you were a woman on a mission, and you never let up until you accomplished it. And not just the end of something. We know that this is the beginning of something. I don't know if I got a chance to say it, but you're the first African-American woman to embrace this position of Chief Executive Officer of DeKalb County. That's not a small feat. That is a wonderful thing. And we think about celebrating women, celebrating sisters. And I know that you are uniquely aware of the backs, the shoulders that you stand on, and your ancestors who paid a price for you to occupy right now. So I'm not going to read a lot more because I'm real excited about you telling us about who you are in your own words, because people write about us. But it's so much more when they can see and read about us by our lifestyle. Seen and read of men. So welcome to our show. And I want you to share from your heart what your desires are.
Yes. Let me say thank you. You know, it was most gracious to hear what you've said, because, you know, like you know, Vickie, when we are out there, you're so busy doing, you don't have time to think about what you've done because there's always something else to do. But, you know, to all of the listeners out there, I can truly say that sometimes we don't understand. But, you know, I'm a spiritual person, and I truly believe that all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. And our steps are ordered. You know, I don't mind being standing on the sidelines. I don't have to be the drum major in the parade. But honestly, when I think about my the totality of my background, I was set up for this in many ways because, I was initially elected in 2018. 2019 was my first year of service. And I truly had no aspirations. I didn't, I never aspired to be an elected official. I'm very thankful that because I earned my worth. And because of that, I'm a worker. And once I understand the assignment, and that's all I see here in DeKalb, as it relates to my vision. Interestingly, I never thought about the fact that Harvard certificate was in equity. But, DeKalb, I love DeKalb. And as I'm out there now and I'm speaking to people, there's a lot of folks who do not realize that Dunwoody and Brookhaven are DeKalb County.
That's right.
And that has been quite shocking to me. And it's because of the dynamics between the two. And, recently Brookhaven was voted the best city in the state of Georgia. Now, on the South side, we have an equity problem. We have not grown. And of course, you all know that that's our home. We live literally around the corner from each other in Stonecrest.
That's right.
And for those who are listening who may not know, Stonecrest is the second largest pocket of African-American wealth in the United States, second only to Prince George's County, Maryland. But we look nothing at all like it. So my charge is, first of all, to ensure public safety, because independent of public safety, it's very difficult because safety affects economic development. It affects your quality of life. And that is first, because right now in DeKalb, we are sorely understaffed with our police officers. But I also want to be clear for people that are listening, police alone can't solve the problem. We have to start early with education. And also, this is an economic problem that we're facing. The number one underlying factor of crime is economics. So we have to work with our school system. And, I hope we'll get to that segment to ensure that in DeKalb County, we will be launching a program called No Child Left Behind that I have funded. But equity is key. It is time that we grow South and Central DeKalb. South DeKalb currently has no economic core. South DeKalb Mall, has honestly reached a very low point. And of course, there are concerns with Stonecrest Mall. We are seeing many stores, particularly our flagship stores, leave. So it is time to grow DeKalb, and we have to increase critical mass and rooftops. A lot of people don't understand, when it comes to economic development, it's a numbers game. If I reach out to anyone, whether it be a Whole Foods or a restaurant, they're concerned with three things: the exact location, how many homes are within a quarter-mile radius, and the median household income. So in areas where we have higher incomes, we don't have the density. In areas where we have density, we don't have the income. So we have got to work across many boards right now to solve this. And I'm excited because this is the time to do it.
Madam CEO, you were talking about businesses and economic development. I was thinking the time that you had mentioned, and I don't know whether you remember this now, we were talking briefly, and you said, I'm going to bring a Chipotle to South DeKalb County. That Chipotle, it's hard to get in it now. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's such a great influence and a great financial structure for us. So I want to thank you for bringing those kind of businesses to us, that quality of food, that quality of business that we can benefit from.
And let me say to you, I'm glad you mentioned that, Rob, because, when I sat across from those folk initially, I remember them saying, what do you have in mind? And that's when I said a Chipotle, a Salada. We need some healthy alternatives out here. And I told him, because I knew certain things, I said, if you give me what I'm asking, I promise it will be one of your top producing restaurants.
Oh, yes.
After 6 months, they called to say that it was one of the top 3. That restaurant, and for those of you who are listening, we can solve those because that is an independently owned restaurant. So my responsibility as CEO is to ensure that people have access to resources. DeKalb County, through Decide DeKalb Development Authority, we have the ability to work with you, to help you with your business plan, to vet you, prepare you, and we can then refer you out to the SBA. We can refer you for ACE loans, 108 review. You know, right now, everything from coffee shops to restaurants, it's time we own it.
Yes.
And when it comes to franchising, you know, that's one of the easier things because it's a model. You're buying into a system. So the support is there. So I need some people to join me in helping build DeKalb.
Well, that sounds good. Hold that thought, Madam CEO. We have to take a break right now. You're listening to Let's Talk About It with the Turners and the new CEO of DeKalb County, the Honorable Lorraine Cochran Johnson, on News and Talk, WAOK, the voice of the community. We want you to be a part of our conversation, so call us. Our number is 404-726-1380. We'll be right back. You're listening to Let's Talk About It with the Turners and the new CEO of DeKalb County, Georgia, the Honorable Lorraine Cochran Johnson. Madam CEO, you were saying?
Yes, and thank you all for working with me. I was saying before I left, the first 100 days requires an assessment of 19 different departments. And because I've had 5 years present as a commissioner, I already knew that we would need to reimagine some positions. So for instance, you know, DeKalb County, we are the only CEO form of government in the state of Georgia out of 159 counties. And within our org act, for many that may have a city manager, our chief operating officer has served very much in a similar type capacity. But understanding where we need to focus, I have reimagined that position. So we have put singular focuses in certain areas. So now no longer will our COO be responsible for managing 19 departments, being the direct point of contact between 12 cities. And for those of you who are listening, DeKalb County is comprised of Chamblee, Dunwoody, Brookhaven, Doraville, Tucker, Stone Mountain, Stonecrest, Lithonia, Pine Lake, the city of Clarkston, as well as Decatur. And, you know, it's enough managing just 19 departments. So I have actually brought on board, very excited, Martha Ravello. And Martha is now the chief of intergovernmental affairs. So moving forward, the 12 cities will work through one point of contact to ensure that we master service delivery and that they're given the attention they need. Because I also believe that it will help reduce annexation attempts. You know, folks don't care who do what. They just care about good and quality service delivery. Also understanding that we need to revitalize and reimagine certain portions of DeKalb. I'm very excited to announce, and for some people, this is your first time hearing it, that Jacob Vallow has joined us. If you don't know him, you should Google Jacob. Of course, this is his first time entering government, but he is a master developer of major projects all across the city of Atlanta, has several years with MARTA, where he handled transit-oriented development projects there. So I'm very excited to say that I have assembled a team of people who have the capacity to help us move forward. So you will see us reimagine, redefine, and also you will see a shift so that there is a more strategic focus, because I think, you know, with proper attention to detail, we will be able to move things along rather quickly.
You know, Madam CEO, you had said that education really is priority, it's principal, as well as public safety. So how do you plan to incorporate the school district and the municipalities into your overall plan for that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I know both of you are, you know, I know I have one full educator and another educator and lover of community at heart. But probably just before the end of my tenure last year, understanding that when it comes to schools, of course, oftentimes people say you don't have any controls over schools, and you're correct, I don't. However, I do understand that collaborative partnerships are necessary.
Absolutely.
And there is no way to separate government from education.
That's right.
Because education affects government.
Mhm.
Because independent of quality schools, it affects your ability to recruit business. It
That's right.
affects your quality of life. And if you didn't know, it has a direct impact on our property values.
That's right.
So I was very happy before I left to provide over $250,000 to DeKalb County schools for the implementation of a program called No Child Left Behind.
Yes.
Now, with that particular program, because it has been disturbing watching the numbers and high incidence of crime and violence that focuses around youth and young people.
Yes.
So with this program, we are teaching principles of nonviolence. It expands upon my previous program, which was the Lock-In for Life, where we teach ignorance is no defense. Simple things like, for instance, a lot of young people don't understand the difference between assault and battery. And technically, if you yell at someone and they fear you, that is considered assault. If you literally touch an individual and they consider it harmful or are fearful of you, that is battery. You didn't have to punch them, a simple touch. So teaching young people that
Yeah.
actions have consequences,
Yes.
and that being ignorant does not shield you from prosecution of law.
Exactly.
Also, we have a portion of that program, Am I My Brother's Keeper? We also look at conflict resolution, because we believe often that young people don't have skills that really they don't, because you have to cultivate certain skills.
Exactly.
And most importantly, civic and social responsibility.
Yeah.
And with that, one of the components of the program will require every child that graduates from a DeKalb County school to have a post-secondary education plan that is signed during their junior year. So if you're not headed to college, you're going to see in DeKalb billboards go up that promote technical education.
Good.
In the
Yes.
state of Georgia, there are 18 trades available to a high school graduate free of charge. So there shouldn't be a child in DeKalb that does not have a plan, whether you are pursuing college, then you must be responsible. So I'm very excited to fund those programs. I look forward to going even deeper, because honestly, education and opportunity, economic opportunity, is the key to eradicating crime. It's not policing, it's education
Good.
and it's economics.
That's very, very good. That's very good.
Very good. That's exciting. I remember you're
Yes.
sharing with me, and we talked a little bit about many of our children for a season. It looked like they just had no direction.
Yes.
That sometimes in our efforts to accomplish things, we're checking boxes, and
Mhm.
that our children are more than a box checked. We must make sure we have dealt with them where they are with their emotional needs, their emotional equivalency. We have got to deal with mental wellness for our children, that we're not sending them out in deficits to the work market, the labor force. So I know I've spoken with our superintendent on numerous occasions, many of the board members, they are looking forward to that collaborative partnership as
Yes.
you, because I think when you break it down, it's a matter of economics. That this is, it's not, sometimes the focus is placed in the wrong place. If we don't stop and address the issues with our young people, we will have far ramifications down the road that will impact us for generations to come. So I'm really excited to hear you say that you're willing to address it.
And let me also say, I'm going to go a step further, because my vision includes having a chief education officer. That is a position for which we have not yet hired, because I need to analyze our budget. But I envision a chief education officer that works alongside the school system, but also educates the community on everything from the importance of compost. Because many people don't realize, we have the landfill, and,
Right.
we have a lot of complaints about odor, but
Yeah.
everything that comes from the earth should go back.
That's right.
So we have to educate people not to put fruits and vegetables in the wastebasket because it creates leachate, which is a combustible substance that literally produces a methane gas and odor. So that education officer will be busy also educating people on programs that we have because many people really don't understand government or how to use it.
That's right.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, Madam CEO, it's a philosophy that says starting with the end in mind. You know, it's highly
Yes.
successful people. So, what does that look like at the conclusion of your first term?
At the conclusion of my first term, I want to have solid catalytic economic development programs in both South and Central DeKalb. And I say catalytic programs because and projects because until we see certain things, and when I say we, people in general, even in the
Yes.
community, because some people are tired of waiting. You know, my mother used to say, "Wait broke the wagon down." Then once we see the revitalization of South DeKalb Mall, then you will begin to see a transformation along the corridor.
That's right.
We have to create projects that encourage the investment and put people on notice that there is change. So my first year looks like at least 3 catalytic projects, 2 of which I already had the vision and the framework that I would like to move forward quickly. And it also looks like a government that has mastered service delivery and functions at an optimal level, where people have clearly defined rules and responsibilities. And, you know, also that old saying, you can't expect what you don't inspect.
There you
So,
go.
you know, I also have a position that I've created for a project manager because I've seen us move many things along. And in government, it can be, there's so many layers, things get lost. And I don't want that because, you know, it's time. It's just simply time that we do more.
Well, you know, Madam CEO, you have an open door on Let's Talk About It with the Turners. We wanted to start our year off by starting off with you as you start your term off. So it all works together as we move forth to make this not only a better city, but a better DeKalb, a better Georgia, a better country. And we think, you know, we're very excited about having you in that seat. And, you know, it always says, you know, if you got the right person driving the bus, it's going to get to the right destination. And I believe, and I know that we have the right person driving the bus for DeKalb County. So we appreciate you so very much. And thank you for saying yes to the call that God put in your life.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And I'm so thankful to the people because I want to just say in closing that my presence here, I hope will serve as an inspiration to others.
Yes.
Because often we don't understand what may lie ahead of us. But in my case, people did for me what the establishment never would have done. Because government, you know, the inherent nature of government and politics is it is political.
Exactly.
And, you know, I didn't come here as a political being. I came here as an individual who has had to produce all of my life at a different level, you know, run further, jump higher. And I'm so thankful for that because now I'm ready.
Yes. Yes. That's wonderful.
Well, I will be redundant with what Rob has expressed. And I've often said to our leaders, to our superintendent, are you sure, superintendent, you have the right people on the bus? And so that's part of what you're doing in your assessment of departments and of efficiency or the lack thereof. You're doing an overall program assessment, departmental assessment, so that you can determine we got the right people on the bus. We all are sure the voters put you in the driver's seat.
That's right.
Because they wanted you to drive the bus. Now your job is to you're tasked with, let's get the right people on board. One mind, one DeKalb, one mind, one DeKalb. And so we could not be more proud of you.
Yes.
We are so honored for this season of our lives to co-labor alongside you. You said this, you said, I'm looking for people to help me build. You can count the Turners.
We're there for you. We're there.
You can count on us.
We're here.
Thank you.
And
Thank
so
you.
we're covering you in prayer and wishing
Yes.
you the absolute best in your endeavors. And we expect nothing short of excellence. Nothing short of
And
it.
tell my frat brother hello.
I certainly will.
Yeah. All right.
And you guys enjoy your vacation.
All
And
right.
again, to everyone out there, DeKalb County is open for business.
Yes.
I'm in my office each and every day, and we look forward to the conversation. So thank you and help me build DeKalb.
Yes.
Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
God
You take
bless you,
care.
dear.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.